So, over here, I might have to pause if we want to see what's in these boxes. We can see what's in the Halloween box, but up here is my Cameo with its cute little teal dust shield. That's my printer where I print out, you know, digital stamps and stuff for Copic coloring. That's the chipmunks, because why not? And excuse me. Told you. That's my my little cuddle bug. I got him for about $25 because the people at Michael's didn't know what it was. And so they were $80 at the time. And yeah, they're like, it's not labeled, we don't know what it is, it's not in our system, so 25 bucks. I have no idea how that worked, but that old saying, never look a gift horse in the mouth, so I didn't. And this is an entire box full of fibers that was gifted to me by a person on my old message board. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, I should have written it down. But since when do I do anything prudent like that? So those are for my mixed media canvases that I got because I wanted to do something. I think I wanted to do water with fiber in it, and I didn't have any fibers. And she's like, I have an entire box, do you want it? And I was like, cha. So she sent it to me. I did make her a card, and I said thank you at the time. I just don't remember her name right now. So there's all those. Again, one of the highlight reels of my my room tours. These are all of my sequins. And not only did everybody go through a big sequin craze back in, you know, a couple years ago, but I really like to use them on my canvases. And what I do, as you can see up here, and you could probably see while I was doing it, but you can see mixed in with the gel medium and stuff is all these different kinds of sequins, and they're not going to go anywhere because they are mixed in with the gel medium. But you get that iridescent, crazy sparkle from them, and without without having to worry about them going everywhere like glitter. So that's why I have so many of them, and I did buy most of these in multiple packs, and I spent a lot of time just organizing them because, well, they're really great to look at for one, and I like to have the control of being able to say this is the kind that I want, this is what I need, and this is where they are. These ones are Studio Calico ones. I got those on Peachy Cheap for, well, cheap. Let's see what we got. Halloween bats and stuff. I think those were either gifted to me or I bought them during Halloween. I forget. I know those ones were gifted to me. These ones in the center are all, what do you call them, leaves? They're all different leaves because I had this idea of making a fall canvas, and I always like to work seasonal, and then when the season comes, I either don't have time or I'm not in the mood. So that was kind of stupid of me, but the whole idea was that I would buy these clear ones. We'll try not to spill it. I would buy these clear ones, and then I would dye them with alcohol ink. So you can see these are the test purple ones that I made, and isn't that neat? So it went from this clear iridescent to now a purple iridescent. It looks pink on camera, but it is purple. So the fact was it worked. And I just have to get off my butt and actually do it. And the same with the silver ones, is those can also be dyed. Anything that's silver or gold you can dye, but gold tends to bleed through. These ones were a gift from somebody. These ones weren't. Those ones I actually bought. Anything that's gold or silver can be dyed with alcohol ink. So, and obviously, of course, clear acetate can be dyed. So that's why I got those. And then these I got because if I just wanted to make regular fall, I would have the leaves. And I have a fascination with leaves. So, yeah. I'm surprised at how fast this is getting used up, but I have a feeling that all of these videos are really long. So if this is too long, go ahead and pause it and come back later. I am so sorry it's so long. But you wouldn't think you could fit all this stuff into a very small space, but you can. And this is my wood veneer thing. I really like wood veneers. I always have. I've liked using them on my scrapbooking projects mostly. But for mixed media canvases, they're also really good. So a lot of these are the Studio Calico ones. I've got Random Michaels ones. I've got stuff from the Gossamer Blue kits and all that stuff. And just any sort of shapes. I've got all these different cameras. Because anytime I got close to running out of cameras, I made sure to buy more cameras. I once won a contest where I only entered the contest because the prize was wood veneers. So that's why I have so many. And it was an entire huge bag that she gave away because I guess she didn't like wood veneers anymore. And I did. So this is one of those odds and ends kind of bins. This is punches. Again, if you watched my earlier Use It Up videos, you can see a lot of the punches that I did to get rid of all of that paper and to make little embellishments with. I'd hoped that I would use them more, but I'm really rigid about paper matching and staying within paper collections, and so I didn't reach for it as much as I thought that I would. I've got things that were gifts. These are those little dots that they only sell in the UK. I think they're called card candy or something like that. These I was gifted. The paper clips, they always came in kits, and I don't like them, so I try and put them on cards and then give them away instead of, you know, me being the one to keep them. Same with flair. I really, really dislike flair, so I try and put them on cards that I'm going to give away just to get them out of my house. This is all the brads that I have left. I don't really have an opportunity to use brads much anymore because I didn't like the bulk. But, you know, they have to go somewhere, so this is where all that stuff went. And these are mostly acrylic shapes that I got from crafting expos because I've gone to one scrapbook expo or another at least once every year that I've been scrapbooking, and I've been scrapbooking since 2004. So, yeah, it's a long time. And then, as I was saying, things that can be dyed are silver and gold and clear, so I have a lot of those kind of sequins. I'm not going to touch them too much because they'll get everywhere. But yeah, I have things that can be dyed. And then I have also those enamel dots that we can make on our own. I have you might have seen it as I panned through it, I have a non-food toaster oven that I can put outside so that the smell doesn't get to me, and so that we're not eating from it or anything like that. I have one of those toaster ovens, and I made a bunch of my own enamel dots. I have a bunch of those beads, and another one like this somewhere in the house. I don't know where. Anyway, I have a bunch of those beads, those perler beads, and so I made a bunch of those things. And I could make enough to fill this up, but I thought, you know, just use some. So I do use those on projects as well as using the ones that are already sticky, because I do have enough of those too. And I think I'm going to have to pause you so that I can breathe, but also so that I can get stuff down and open it, because things are closed. So give me 1 second. And I'm back. Okay, so these are what's in the boxes that you see here. I'm not going to open all of them. You're just going to have to trust me that that's what's in these boxes. And just a little bit longer, guys. If I hope this is interesting to everybody. If it's not, you know, go ahead and please just move on. And if it is, I'm glad you're here, and thank you for watching. But anyway, this is my 6x6 box. I got this box from IKEA, so it's very simple. One of those ones that you just kind of fold together. But this is where I keep all my 6x6. I usually buy the 6x6 when I don't like the 12x12 enough, or if I just want to make cards with it, something like, or something like this where they didn't have any larger than this. So that's what I got, and it's just a little Christmas thing. But I mostly wanted it for the woodlandness, because, like, woodlandness of it. Because, like I said, I do live in San Bernardino National Forest. It is a protected national forest. Federal government. But, yeah, so, and a lot of these were either discounted or, you know, at the scrapbook expos, they have things on sale and stuff like that. Especially the Echo Park, there's always Echo Park there, and so you get those for cheap, you know, just like $2 or $3 each. So I have a good amount of those. I kept these embellishments in here just because this is the only version of her line that I have. I don't know where it is, but this is the only version of that line that I have, so I might as well just keep it in here all together. So that's what I did. And as for those boxes are Halloween and Christmas slash winter. Now I don't, I'm an atheist, I guess. I don't subscribe, basically. That's what I'm going to go with. It's not necessarily that I don't believe, it's I don't subscribe. So, I don't celebrate Christmas, but I do really like winter stuff, and my parents always did Santa, because, you know, the winter solstice type thing. So we always had that, and I like winter a lot. And moving up here the last 10 years, of course, we get snow. So there's that. And Halloween has also been my favorite holiday since forever. I always love the come as you aren't of it. and I was usually a Star Trek character. I was Jadzia Dax for many, many years, and for at least 3 or 4 years, I was Mulder from X-Files. So, I always did like the Halloween, and now as adults, Mike and I go to Disneyland to do trick-or-treating. So I do want to have a bunch of stuff on hand. So what I did was I filtered out all my embellishments into these trays. These trays were meant to go in the iris cases, the big old plastic cases, but those don't fit here. But the case, or the tray does fit in the box. So the boxes are from Michaels. I don't know any other brand than Recollections, but that's where they're from. And I took all of my stuff out of packaging. I really hate packaging. If you haven't noticed, you haven't seen a whole lot of packaging, because I get some sort of physical satisfaction from just being able to throw it away and get rid of it. So that's what I did with all of these packagings, and I sorted them out. So here's, the glittery stickers, and these are the different kinds of stickers, and blah, blah, blah. And then anything else, Halloween related, the washi tape and all of that stuff. These are the big stickers and everything like that. And then with Halloween, because it's so big, this entire thing is full of stamps. I can kind of, you can see how those usually get, not these ones, they probably need their own different kind of case, but these all get organized into, well, you'll see my stamp organization a little later. But, and I've got the punches and everything in there. So the stamps and punches and stuff live in that box, and then the embellishments and stuff live in this box, and those have the 6x6 on top of them. And then for this one is winter, so this is not only all winter themed embellishments, so you've got your little tiny trees, your snowflakes, and all of that stuff. This one also has all of the winter stamps in it. So anything that's snow themed, I usually stamp on this side, but I've been lazy lately, so that's why it's like that. Anything that is snow themed, these are Lawn Fawn, the little fairy houses. So those are snow themed. Let's see, what else do we got? I've got the little woolly sheep. I've got the deer from the Christmas sets. Again, those could be sorted with the animals, but, I've got the little mice from the, what is it, Clearly Besotted Company. And if it was overwhelmingly themed, see, like the other little sheep is a deer. So that's why I went and put the other sheep, the non-deer sheep in there. Because he goes with his friends. So those are all the winter themed ones, and then I have the rubber under there, and they're all indexed, so I know, or I can flip it over and just look. They're all indexed like that. And then this is also all winter themed paper. So this is Pretty Little Studio, which I really do enjoy. They're a great company. She designs her paper as far as I know, and then she's also the printer, so she's the manufacturer as well. And but it's only ever an 8x8, because I guess she doesn't have a 12x12 printer, which you can't blame her. Those things are expensive. But yeah, so you gotta make sure that you're gonna use some, if you want a 12x12, you're gonna use a different base. But yeah, serious hush, please. Hush. I know. There's a man outside. It's okay. The electric guy came by. But yeah, so these are all the winter stickers and everything. So, and in the other box is Christmas. So it's all, all the stamps, all the paper, all the stuff that relates to Christmas. And yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So that's what I do for my holidays, and that's all I have for those. And I went ahead and put these on my chair, so I can't sit in my chair, which I'm going to need to do. Because yeah, if y'all haven't figured it out, I'm disabled. I can't exactly do a whole lot or stand for a very long time, which is why I have all this art stuff so I can play at home. Because I can't go outdoors. Outdoors is dangerous for Aeryn. Outdoors is bad. So yeah, this is all of my paper. This is literally all of my paper. Aside from those little boxes, you saw what little is in there. This is all of my paper. That's scrapbooking paper. So we're going to have to deal with the light that's overhead, and I'm sorry if that's not enough. But in this one, you can see that I have the Pretty Little Studio paper, which you've seen me work with several times. There's videos on, pretty much everything that I've scrapbooked in recent years, at least the last 2 years that I've been on YouTube. These are kits that I've made myself. They're stash kits, bleh. It's basically things that I have gone through and said these papers go together really well. And I'm pretty sure there's a Stash Kit 101 video on my channel. It's probably at least 2 years old, but it's there. And that's what these kits are. It's not that they haven't been used, it's that they were really big. If you watch me make them, they're huge. And so even when I use them, I don't use them all the way up until I do a use it up video. And then that's just me working with it for months or weeks. I think I give myself a month for it. I don't know. Excuse me. Basically, the premise of those use it up videos is that I took the one kit and I said, you can't use anything else and you can't put it away. If you saw, my desk is always this clean. So the whole idea of you can't put it away until you finish this is a real motivator because I really like things to be very clean and organized. So I didn't clean up for this video at all. I didn't have to. So I just kind of, I'm really anal about it. And I'm anal about organizing because I organize when I can't craft or when I don't feel well enough to craft. So that's why things are usually organized, because it's like, oh, what else can I rifle through and label and whatnot. So here you'll see most of my favorite companies. This is Amy Tan. We've got, you know, the American Crafts oeuvre. And in the last couple of years, I've got a few papers that I found at the Scrapbook Expo. Those bins of like loose papers that you have to paw through. I can't deal with that. Like, I don't know if it's germ phobia or what, but I can't deal with that. So I don't tend to get those things. But I do like collection kits, I would call it. Yeah, the collection kits. So I do tend to scrap that way. And I store my stuff that way. So it's all by company. That was Simple Stories. I like Simple Stories a lot as well. This is one of the boy-themed ones I've used a lot of, so it's getting thin. Sometimes I keep the die cuts with them because it's just easier that way. And because I do scrapbook by collection. Sometimes I try and mix it up, like with the kits. If I get sick of it, I'll move it out. I do have a baby-themed kit because this one was super cheap, but also because these colors are stuff that I use all the time. So even if I don't use the motif, I can use the B-side. So, if you go to the Scrapbook Expo, especially ours, Echo Park is really cheap. They have, you know, the whole collection pack for $2, $3, something like that. And the more you buy, the cheaper it gets. So I have a bunch of those. And in here is my die cuts. This is an old binder I had for writing, but I can't write by hand anymore because my arthritis got too bad, so. This is a bunch of my die cuts, and I'm not going to page through it because they're just baseball card holders with a bunch of die cuts in them, and if I put it on the other side where it's not being supported, it's going to fall, and they're going to go everywhere. But yeah, the point is they're organized in there by collection, I believe, and then some of them are organized by color. And then I've also got stamped and colored images that haven't gotten on cards yet. I've got the ones that are stamped on watercolor paper, and then I've got the ones that are stamped on Copic paper, and yes, I can tell the difference just by looking, so I don't have to worry about that. And then, you know, more teeny tiny die cuts. So, that's what lives in there. And I'm not going to be able to put that back without it falling. This is hard one-handed, isn't it? Okay, I hope I didn't make you sick by doing that, I'm sorry. And this one is where my paper, what do you call it, the cardstock used to be, but it doesn't have to live here anymore. And what I have here is themed paper. So this is where the fall paper, this is where the one Valentine's collection I have is. This is Asian themed paper. What else do we got? We have Paradise, we have Camping. That one's God knows how old. I bought so much of this, and I have used so much of it. 2010. 2010 it says. So, that is 7 years old. I think that's the oldest thing I have in my collection, honestly. This is the Harry Potter one, which I went to Harry Potter World, like I said, so I got that to scrap with. That's Space from, I don't know. Craft and Craftin'. Wow, that's one heck of a name, guys. But they're not in business anymore. But yeah, so I found that somewhere, and that's been in my stash for a very long time. And then I wheedled down my Halloween stash because I had a lot. If you watch the other videos, I have a 2015 and a 2016 room tour, so you can see how it changes. But I had at least half of this thing full of Halloween paper, and I whittled it down quite a lot. I did 2 years worth of 31 Days of Halloween, which is a card every single day. It is exhausting. But I have enough stuff to do it, is the thing. So I did 2 of those in a row, and I also just kind of said, you know what, this needs to live somewhere else. And, you know, donated it, that kind of thing. So I have just these few collections of my favorite collections. You know, this is a pink paisley. They're no longer around anymore, so you know how old that is. This one is also 2010. It's the Phantom collection. But like I said, I have been scrapbooking since 2004, so things could be even older than that in here. This is another one of my favorite ones from Bo Bunny. That is 2013, so that's not quite as old. But yeah, so those ones are old. Here I've got my Fabriano Artistico paper. I love this watercolor paper. This is my absolute favorite watercolor paper. I have tons of stacks of it in all various sizes. I say tons. You can see 2 here, and there's another 2 somewhere in my stash. Excuse me. There's another 3. This is another one. So I've got both hot press, I've got cold press, and I have rough press. The rough press is so fun. If you're one of those people that likes texture in otherwise non-textured things like watercolor, ooh, what's smoother than water and paper? Rough paper is fantabulous. But yes, this is my absolute favorite paper. I had the Arches paper, and I do not like it at all compared to the Fabriano. And again, it's personal taste. It's artist to artist. That's why they make all of these things, and that's why they sell. So if you like it, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But I do not like it. Compared to the Fabriano, no. This is all of the cardstock that I have left. That's just plain white. That's craft. And then this is a shiny black. And I have, these are patterned, but they're solid patterns. Blah. I'm losing my ability to talk. We've only got a little bit more to go. Only 4 to go. So if you're bored, I'm sorry. Like I said, turn it off and come back. Please come back, though. These ones are shiny papers, so it's patterned with shiny. These ones are the Snap Basics. I have a lot of those. And this one is all wood texture. And I've got the Simple Stories, just different collections of the pattern and lines and color because I use them as backgrounds. And if you're wondering about these folders that I have them in, yes, they are wonderful. They are fabulous creations, but they don't make them anymore. So I'm sorry. It's the same thing with my Copic shelves. If you were going to email me and ask me, you are welcome to do so, but I'm going to tell you right here, they don't make them anymore. The company that make the Copic shelves are out of business. Cropper Hopper that made these are not out of business, and supposedly there is a comparable product, but I don't know what it is. So you would have to Google. I'm sorry. But yeah, these were sticker binders, and the whole idea was that you would plan your layout within these. So this is a 6x6 pocket, and then that's the 12x12 pocket, and then in front it had a label in the front. And, you know, you've seen me stick die cuts and stuff in there. It had a label in front so that you could keep everything together. And this way I keep all my scraps. Notice I don't have a scrap bin because all the scraps are in with their collection. So that way, if I need something from the collection, I just grab it from there. The only problem is those whole, let's make a layout from only your scraps, or let's make an art journal from only your scraps. I have to filter through every single one of these to find a different color scrap. So I don't tend to do those. But yeah. I love those because they're extremely organized, and like I said, I'm very anal about that kind of thing. So this is my sort of extras bin, I suppose. These are fabric bins from IKEA. Again, this unit is the Kallax unit from IKEA. Pretty much every scrapbooker has these, or, you know, has at least seen them. So there's that. See, we've got more Fabriano Artistico. This is the 5x7 pack. Which, yes, I just love this paper so much. I like hot pressed if I'm going to stamp, especially because it is incredibly smooth. You'll get cold pressed, which is a little bit rougher, and then the rough, which is very, very rough. And it's so nice. I love it. And, okay, so to page through this kind of stuff without everybody going insane, these are my Faber-Castell brush markers. I'm not going to pull one out because I won't be able to put it back on camera. But they're the brush tip, and I have... what is that, a 60 set? I think it's a 60 set. And so those are India ink, so when you color with them, they're not going to bleed. Or, well, they're going to bleed, but they're not going to be water reactive, is what I was trying to say. I've got little dauber things for your fingers, for your inks. I use those with my Distress inks. I have extra Distress ink blending foam. I have the blending foam that I take out when I want to blend stuff. So it's all labeled by color and everything. If it's not filled, I just haven't used that color with the circular foam yet. And I have them for the square foam as well. So those have all been used because I've marked those before. These I just got from my friend. This, alright, we're going to have to take some stuff out. Gonna have to take it out. So this is all of my Copic Express It blending card. You can see those little stains on there. That's a freaking mouse. Just a couple months ago, a freaking mouse got into these bins, of all places. There's no food anywhere near here, but since I am in the kitchen with my craft stuff, a mouse was crawling through my stuff because we live in a forest. Oh my god, I was so mad. So, yeah, thankfully, though it does show on the edges here, I could cut the edges off and it didn't destroy the paper, but I did move them up one. If I had a sleeve this big, I would put them in the damn sleeve, but yes. Mike had to clean out all of these bins. He had to clean out all around here because, you know, people with no immune system and sensitive lungs should not be around mouse droppings or peepees. No, it's very bad. So yeah, I have a couple of tools in here, some things that were donated to me, or were gifted to me rather, not donated, by lovely YouTuber people like you. I have my whole bean, there we are, a whole bean artistic gouache, and I have those in there. I have, could have sworn I had cases too, but I don't know where they went. I don't know where they went. But they do live in here. Maybe they live in the one lower. They live in the one lower, that's why. Duh. You can tell I've been scrapbooking more often. So this is my color book. And early on, well, you know, early on when you start using your Copics, they tell you to make a list of color combinations and numbers and all of that stuff and make a book. And so that's what I did. So these are all the auburn hairs that I had. I mean, it's not all of them. It's not the ones that it's mostly the ones that I use all the time. And it is rather old. So you kind of grow out of it. Or I did. I don't know. Maybe there are people that have been doing Copics forever that still use these. But I grew out of it personally. I don't necessarily refer to this all the time, but I have these fur colors in case I see something interesting. Jeans colors, so I colored all the jeans in those certain colors. Face colors, those are, you know, again, most used, not the only ones. And eye colors, etc. So that's what that is. It's just a color chart. And in this box is a fun box. So I made this box out of an old pencil box. You know, like when you were a kid, you had little old pencil boxes. There's a card in there for some reason. Oh, because Mike didn't send it like he was supposed to. That's why. I made it for his parents and he didn't send it. These are stamped images that I have stamped, and they didn't go in the baseball card thing. These are from those 30-day color-along things that the Daily Marker does. So I have a bunch of just already colored images that are ready to go on cards and stuff like that. And then images that are, when you print stuff, when you print digital stamps, it's better to make sure that you're using the entire paper instead of just printing some or one, and then, you know, having a whole 8.5 by 11 paper with just one stamp on it. So I make sure that I fill out the entire paper and then go through that. I'm just doing this so I can close it again. And in here is my travel watercolor thing. This is my very expensive stuff, so this is only the best. This is my Schminke set. They're a German company, and they are very good. And this was not cheap. This is the, forget how many there are, but you can see how many there are. It's quite a lot. This is the largest set that they have. They have more colors than this. They have recently added like 15 just this year. But that's the set that I got. I got it from Amazon. And yeah, so that's my Schminke Hodrum. And I've got brushes of all sorts of size. I don't have any synthetic water brushes. They are all real sable, except I think this one. I think this one might be synthetic, but that's it. The rest of them are all natural stable. And, which, of course, is not vegan or anything like that, but, again, these are my, I've got a white stable fan brush. I've got all different sizes of, what are they, the black velvet brushes. I've got Da Vinci brushes, and I've got 2 Winsor & Newton brushes. I prefer the Da Vinci brushes by a long shot, but, yeah. So yeah, I just find that sable works a lot better for me. Like again, it's all about my art and what I like. They work better for my art than the synthetic brushes, so I don't have any of those. Except for that mop. Because they just hold more, pigment to me. And this is my stamps. What I do, if you haven't seen any of the videos, what I do is, you know how you get a stamp set and it's $15 or whatever, and it has, you know, a couple images, a couple flowers, a couple sentiments, you know, stuff like that. So what I do is I break it down by the main theme of the kit. So I've got nature and spring. I've got small themes, which is stuff like kitchen, or I've got, you know, 1 or 2 little, like, you know, geisha type girls, stuff like that. I've got 1 or 2 little houses, so that's small themes. I don't have a whole lot. I've got animals, exotic. I've got animals, dog and cat. I've got fairies, mermaids, and myths, so you're looking at dragons and gnomes and all that stuff. And then I've got boy and girl. And what I do is I take those sets and I filter out so you only get the girls. And whatever else they came with, the only thing that's in here is the girls. And then I do the same thing. I'm going to put these on the side now. That's not where they go, but I'm going to put them on the side. I do the same thing with rubber. So I tear off all the icky foamy stuff and all of the, if they came with wood, I tear off all the wood. And then I put glue on the back. And it's Eileen's Tack It All Over and Over glue. And so it stays sticky. And like if it stops sticking, all you have to do is wash it and it will stick again. And then I put them in that. And then I use my stamp press to stamp. And the dog outside is going nuts. So if you can hear him, I'm very sorry. He is annoying and I hate him. My dog is a good boy. That dog is just, oh my god. So yeah, what I do is when, you know, I separate out all those sets. So if I just want animals, then I can just look for animals. And if I just want unicorns, I can just look for unicorns. So I have that. And then, you know, if it came with little flowers or whatever, then the little flowers go in the nature section. And that way I can look up what I need at any time. And now I'm not on any design teams anymore. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. And so I don't need to know who made anything. But for some reason, as terrible as my memory is, one of the things I can remember is who made what most of the time. Now, that specific leaf, I have no clue. But as far as images here, I can tell you these are Some Odd Girl. This one is Mama Elephant. This one is Penny Black. This one is, what's her name? I forget her name right now, but you know, I'm on the spot. But the point is, I can either tell you what it is just by looking at it, or I can easily reference it and look it up. So, I mean, that one might even be a Penny Black one that they redid. Because I think it might be Mo Manning. But I would, like I said, I can look it up. So I don't have to worry too much about not knowing who did what. And this works a lot better for me because most of the time if I say I want a bunny or I want a dinosaur, I can look in here and I might pair up this dinosaur with that dinosaur. Those are not from the same company. This is Lawn Fawn and that's clearly Besotted. They would not be together at all if they were organized by company. But since they are organized by dinosaur, I can look in here and say, you know what, this guy looks really cute with that guy. Maybe he's his baby or something. Who knows? And I can put them together and then create something that I wouldn't necessarily have thought of before. So that's why I did that. Or I can do this guy as a feature image because he's really close and then put him with this one further away in like a silhouette and make a whole scene. But I wouldn't have thought of that because this is Some Odd Girl and this is Lawn Fawn. So does that make sense? Yeah. You can't respond because you're not actually here. But the point is that's why I do that. And it served me very well over the years. So okay, so yeah, these are the pans. So I've got this is the gouache pan. And then this is this is the Mission Gold pan, the Mission Gold watercolors, and these are extremely highly pigmented. I think they're all pigment. I don't think there's any fillers in these. They're a Korean brand, Mission Gold, and they're available on Amazon, rather cheap. They came with a palette, but I hated it, so I just put the extra 2, because I didn't have the extra spaces. I just put the extra 2 up in there, and they are really wonderful. I have many paintings done with those. I love them. But they are very highly pigmented, so you have to be, like, prepared for that. This is the one that Mouse got in, and Mike reorganized and washed out and all of that stuff for me. Because it was on the ground, maybe? I don't know. I'm hoping that's the reason, and the mouse won't come back. We got, I don't know, about 6 of them with the traps. So, we'll see how well that goes. This is another thing that was gifted to me. I'm going to open it up and hope that it doesn't go anywhere. This case, not the case itself. The case is from Walmart. It's in the jewelry section. But what's in it is a bunch of those metal embellishments from Tim Holtz and stuff like that. I got this from a gal on my former message board. And again, it was a situation of, hey, does anybody want this? And I raised my hand. Yep. So I got these all for to put on like mixed media canvases and stuff. So that's what's in there. Now we'll close. Let's see what else we got. We got beads. That's all that's left of my beading collection, which is not a whole lot. And, that's where my perler beads are. So, yeah, you get the perler beads in those things, and then I can melt them down to make, what do you call it? Enamel dots. I'm sorry, I'm being really distracted by the dog that will not stop barking. I'm glad you can't hear him. This is my Club Scrap binder. I used to, when I started scrapbooking in 2004, I belonged to Club Scrap, and they used to have a stencil that came with every single one of their kits. So I kept the stencils, and that's about all I kept. So it's not my style, and like I said, if I don't have room for it because it's not being used, or if I'm not using it, I don't have room for it, and it goes. And these are Tim Holtz stamps that are still on they still have their foam and stuff, and they're still in their cases. I'm gonna have to talk really fast because I've only got 5 minutes. Okay, so apparently my battery's about to die. So yeah, this is all glue and foam or not foam, glue and cleaner and my heat gun and all of that stuff. So it's not even interesting. So now that we've made a big old mess of my room, you can see it here. And those are more canvases that I made. I made those. And I hope you like it. I hope you like the tour. I'm sorry for shaking and coughing and all of that stuff. I hope it was okay for you. And that you enjoy this look at my stuff. And yes, I really am in the kitchen. There's a fridge right there. So yeah, you can see that if you even have just a small space in your kitchen, this is 6 feet by 6 feet. And, you know, it's my main gaming desk too, so if you cut out the gaming spot, it's just 6 feet of space. And this is pretty much where I am every single day, 12 hours a day, just about as much as I can be awake. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I have to clean up all this mess. So, goodbye. Siri says bye too. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.